Being absorbed with one particular thing is something that can happen to anyone. But if you're autistic, this can be much more intense than for non-autistic people. And this could often be because of our monotropic thinking. Monotropism is a theory created for and by autistic people to explain the singular thinking that is common for autistics. But why does this happen? How does this connect to social challenges? And how can we improve those issues? I'll talk about all of that and more in this video. If you're autistic or know someone who is, you'll probably be familiar with the idea that autistics have focused or special interests. And honestly, that can be true for basically anyone. Where it differs specifically for autistics is when they are restricted interests or areas of focus. Basically, we're limited in how many of these interests or areas of focus we have the brain capacity for at a given time. As more about autism is being understood, this kind of thinking is something that autistics have often shared as being a commonality, which is part of where the theory of monotropism was born and initially described by Dr. Dina Murray and Dr. Wen Lawson. So let's dive into how this looks and more. If you're monotropic or know someone who is, you'll love some of the ideas I'll be sharing later. Limiting outside distractions. With monotropism, all the focus and energy of a person is directed to one place. But with many people who have polytropic thinking, they can handle other things, like maybe a phone call disturbing their thought process while they're engaging in a particular activity. Or maybe they can eat a sandwich, talk with someone, and also do whatever it is they're doing, like an art project or reading about something. Not so much the case with many autistics. Those things are all extra things for our brains to focus on. And with monotropic thinking, those break our focus and lead to issues. For a monotropic brain, all attention and focus is zeroed into what we are doing. And that one thing is all consuming. Need to go to the bathroom? Nope. I usually won't notice. Missed 2 meals? Yeah. Didn't feel hungry. Every single ounce of brain power is honed into what I'm focusing on. As Fergus Murray describes it, it's like putting all of your processing eggs in one basket. There's literally no room for anything else. So you can imagine what happens if someone barges into my peaceful bubble of focus. I usually won't handle it very well at all. And that's because I don't have the patience or the desire to feel like my head is being crushed before it explodes. My first reaction is usually frustration. I might have just been on the brink of putting into words that one thing I was trying to think of. And now I lost my train of thought and forgot that thing because someone interrupted me. Why would you do that? And now that my focus is interrupted, I notice that I badly need to go to the bathroom. And also, I'm a little bit dizzy because I haven't eaten anything. And wow, there are suddenly lots of people in the same vicinity, and I didn't even see or hear them all before. What the actual fuck is going on here? Ooh. Oh, and while my brain is processing all of this, now I can feel that the temperature of the room is fairly warm, and I'm uncomfortable. It makes me feel like I weigh 10,000 pounds. And now that I think about it, my body is sweating, my armpits, and my knee pits. And that sucks. I've been sweating this whole time and I didn't even notice. And wait, holy shit, is it dark outside? What time is it? I've been sitting here for over 11 hours straight? What? I didn't even know any of this happened. Wait, what year is it? This is all swirling inside my head. Doesn't seem to bother anyone else, but for me, it's a jolt. And this is probably part of why autistic people often struggle in social situations. We can't just focus on one thing, like listening to the person speaking. No. We're also expected to listen to the words, process the words, pay attention to the facial expressions and body language, filter social context and any hidden or implied meanings, and then think about a response so that I can actually respond in a way that won't make people want to leave or throw up or punch me in the face. And I'm supposed to be making eye contact while all of this shit is happening, feeling a little bit shy. So outside distractions might not be an issue for you. You might think it's a quiet, relaxing spot, and it very well could be for you. But that doesn't mean it is for me or another autistic person. And sometimes that's because we can only focus on a limited amount of things. And our monotropic brains might really want to be thinking about one thing at a time. Things are about to get even more interesting because this also links to another reason for our monotropism: autistic inertia. Autistic inertia is basically the idea that autistic people want to remain in a constant state as much as possible. If we go back to the diagnostic criteria for autism, you'll see the word repetitive sprinkled all over it. It's one of the key characteristics of autistics. And with that, it means that we actively avoid things that break our routines and repetitive behaviors. That also includes what we are thinking about. So asking us to switch what we are doing or are focusing on will cause us issues. Why is this important? Well, many autistics have physical discomfort as a result of being asked to change what we are doing or thinking about. For me, it hurts my head and my eyes and my neck and my stomach. And last but not least, my butt. These interruptions are hard. It rattles our brains, which want to continue working on the same thing or thinking about the same thing for as long as possible. Ideally, until we're done with that one thing, whatever it is. Again, this goes back to the challenges of anything that breaks our focus. Eating, drinking, going to the bathroom, someone stopping by our desk to ask a quick question. Anything that stops the flow state we are in. That breaks our autistic inertia that is chugging along at a constant speed toward a specific destination that we have in our minds. And we really want to get to that destination. It's like being on one of those old freight trains that is chugging slowly, but steadily down the tracks. Suddenly, there's an obstruction on the track, and it's hard to veer off course in another direction. So the train might derail, or make that horrible screeching sound with its brakes. Ugh. It can be just as hard for us to change courses with our brain. But for people who aren't monotropic, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Honestly, I have no idea how you do it. But my guess is, you're probably cheating. Polytropic people can suddenly pause and put down what they are doing to answer the phone or the door without feeling irritated. They can switch tracks into conversations about something entirely unrelated to what they are doing. How? Leaving something unfinished mid-thought to go to a random meeting or have a conversation, and then going back to the original activity afterward? Seriously? Well, autistics aren't really interested in doing that because our autistic inertia wants us to continue on the course we were already on. Deviating is bad news. It causes us discomfort and will probably make us irritable. And when I say irritable, it'll make us want to karate chop you in the neck. 7 or 8 times. Really fast, like that. This doesn't mean that we don't need to stop sometimes, but it can be hard when we are focused and have our tunnel vision blinders on and are only focused on that one thing at a time. So breaking autistic inertia can come with challenges, and monotropic thinking can be hard. But does it come with benefits? Absolutely. So let's dive into those. Dedication and focus. If you're autistic, you already understand the importance to you of your special interests, but you also have probably encountered issues with them. Many other people told you to do other things, or that you need to expand your interests, or just that you shouldn't spend so much time with them. If you're not autistic, you just might not get it. I mean, how can one person sit and learn about one thing, like maybe espresso machines or interior design, for so freaking long, over and over and over again, each and every day? Well, it's because it's next level focus and dedications, so we don't like distractions. We also are a lot more efficient in the workplace when we're able to focus, especially when it's on something we're interested in. We can get a lot done, which is a huge advantage whether it's at school or in the workplace or even at home. Or we just keep getting better and better at what we are doing or keep learning more and more about our interests. We can complete things by staying focused on what we are doing until it's done. We feel immense satisfaction with that. So what if it's time for our lunch break, or even the end of a workday and time to leave? But we're in the middle of finalizing an idea for the project we're working on, or adding the last parts of an email or a report. We aren't going anywhere. Think about how many fields really require this type of dedication, and no one bats an eye. Medicine, science, art, music, math, even sports. To truly become an expert in something requires focus and dedication. It's basically common knowledge that getting really good at something takes dedication and focus. But somehow, a lot of autistic interests are instead looked at as weird hobbies or obsessions. But with dedication and focus, we can become experts. Or consider how our way of working is sometimes called inflexible, because we don't want to be interrupted with a random question or message. But it actually means autistics and monotropic thinkers see things through to completion, or we think about things longer than other people and come up with new ideas or creative solutions to problems. New ideas. Albert Einstein once said, "It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer." Many of the world's major problems wouldn't get solved, and new technologies or medical advances wouldn't be possible without intense focus and dedication to one thing. And that's exactly what monotropism is. Focus and dedication to one thing at a time. It doesn't necessarily have to involve our special interests, but when it is, it's complete magic. Why do we talk about it all the time? Because our brain is in it. We're in it. In it to win it, baby! That's what's on our minds. And if we share that with you, it's a good thing. We're attempting to do something else that often challenges us. Communicating with others. In order to share something special we feel passionate about. Giving time and energy to dive into a limited number of topics and interests at once allows for different ways of thinking about it. This is so crucial to sometimes coming up with new ideas, creative solutions, or next steps. I mean, think of Thomas Edison. He has so many quotes related to sticking with problems longer than other people and using failures to keep going. But if he didn't keep going, he wouldn't have been able to say this: I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. But think about that. 10,000 ways that didn't work. What if he had given up? The focus to be able to come up with so many new ideas and over 1,000 patents for inventions. If he had spread his focus across a bunch of different topics or hobbies, could he have had the time and energy to do this? Who knows? I'm just glad we don't have to find out. What I do know is that this type of focus and dedication is crucial to many huge breakthroughs and new ideas. The verdict is still out on how many life-changing things have come about because of monotropism, but there are probably a lot more than you think. I hope you're ready for this, because I'm going to give you tons of things you can do to help yourself or loved ones. This is actually my favorite part because I think it's the most important part of this video. Is monotropism for everyone? No. And I think that's why autistics with monotropic thinking are misunderstood. It doesn't seem normal to other people to stay focused on one thing for so long, or to have a special interest that you stay with for years, way after other people have changed hobbies or interests multiple times. And that's okay too. But the world needs people who have this type of dedication, passion, and focus, which is why I want to talk about what to do with monotropism. If you're autistic, give yourself uninterrupted time and space for your interests. Incorporate these interests into your life as much as you can. This can mean that you find or create a job that supports this interest. There are tons of bosses and companies out there that truly value passion and dedication to one particular thing. Government agencies who seek out autistic coders because of their pattern-seeking abilities and also because of their ability to focus in on their work. Businesses and companies that see value in someone becoming an expert in their field. Schools that know teachers who are focused on their craft and care about their students and think a ton about their work are vital. Of course, you can do tons of things as someone who is polytropic. But if you're monotropic and your special interest is new techniques for teaching struggling students how to read, you're probably going to be up to date in research and willing to keep trying new methods and keep learning. So create routines to support your interests. Dedicate time and space to them. Let other people know these routines so they can work with that schedule. When you're working on something, make it clear what you need whenever you can. When you're in the zone, you might want noise-canceling headphones so that background noise doesn't distract you and you don't lose focus when the background music or the radio station playing in the background changes. Maybe you need a spot far away from other people where conversation won't interrupt or people won't try to engage with you while you're working. Perhaps you have comfortable clothes that you like to wear or a comfortable chair that you like to sit on. These things will help you not be distracted. Whatever interrupts your focus, think ahead of time and create a space that works for you. And then try to let others know. Maybe this means specific times of the day when you have your device on silent and don't check emails, so you can have your uninterrupted work time. And then maybe you have a quiet chime play 5 minutes before your break time to help you transition out of work time. Schedule what you need and then let people you work with or live with know about what you need. While not everyone can accommodate this, it might surprise you how many are willing to try to adjust once they know what works. If not, maybe you can make changes to your personal life to accommodate this as you figure out what can work for you. For professional settings, this can be tricky, but there are jobs and bosses that exist that can allow for this flexibility. Or consider whether you can be self-employed or do a blended role that allows you to accommodate your needs. If you're an autistic supporter or a parent to an autistic child, be patient with someone who displays monotropic thinking. This means not assuming that when you talk to them while they are doing something, they actually hear you. Like for a kid who's playing a video game and you tell them to stop playing before they finish the level. Can you wait until they get to a good stopping point? That can lead to less conflict with monotropism by not jarring them. It doesn't mean they might not need to stop playing. It just means not giving them that brain jolt at a random time or assuming they are ignoring you when you say something while they are in that zone. They really might not hear you. Listen and get interested as much as possible in the special interest or the autistic person. This is a way to connect together. So be patient, listen, and if you're also interested, dive in. Give time and space to the autistic person for their interests without judgment. Remember that having focused or restricted interests is part of being autistic. Support the interest with resources whenever possible. Remember, this could be fun for both of you. How does monotropism play a role in your life? How do you support yourself or someone else? Drop your thoughts and ideas in the comments. And, as always, thanks for watching. Need a gumdrop. We're going with a gumdrop today. Which color? Going with pink. Oh, that one feels good. I like this gumdrop. Where am I? Bonnie is sweating. That sucks. No. Absolutely.